24-year service veteran. I spent 14 of those 24 years in that joint environment. So I've worked with Army, Navy, Marines, and of course Air Force. In my 24 years, I had 6 AFSCs, MOSs, or rates, depending on which service you're in. We'll tell you that kind of equates to whatever service you're in. So I started in finance, moved into personnel. I was a first sergeant for 6 years of an air traffic control combat comms squadron. I moved to EEO, so I was that drug testing person for a couple of years. And then I ended my career in Joint Forces working acquisitions, technology, and logistics. So with a 24-year military career, education, project background, when I left the military, I had no idea what I was going to do. I thought for sure that I was unhireable. I didn't have the experience or skills that somebody was looking for. I went through the TAP program. Has anybody gone through ACAPS or TAP? I went through that program twice. And
Teach you how to do a resume.
Teaches you how to do a resume.
1950s version.
Yes. Yes. And I think that actually scared me more than anything else because it teaches you how to do a resume and the networking and the dress for success and all of those things. I was bemoaning one night at happy hour with a group of girlfriends who were not associated with the military. And one of the young ladies said, you know, I work for this guy that used to be in the military. I'm sure he can help you. Give me your resume. And that's how I wound up in the commercial environment. The gentleman was actually a retired Brigadier General Monty Montero, and he ran the defense side of a small business called Air Inc. out of Annapolis. And that's how I got my start into the civilian environment. And transition was tough. I don't know if everybody tells you that, right? We think, oh, we've got the military, we've got all these skills and expertise, we're going to go out into the real world and get a job and everything's going to be great. The hardest part of my transition was that not everybody was rowing the boat in the same direction anymore. Not everybody had that same sense of purpose of getting the job done. So when you'd ask somebody, hey, I need this help, I need this product from you so I can do my own job, and I need it by Friday, and Friday comes and goes, and the following Friday comes and goes, and you ask them, and they say, well, you know, that just wasn't important. I didn't see the reason why I needed to do that, or I have other work to do. It was really tough. It was really, really frustrating for me. So while I was in this environment, and I was doing things that I absolutely loved, I was actually on a project for the Navy teaching service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses how to do business with the Defense Logistics Agency. Right? I was back in with the people that knew me, the people that understood me, the people that spoke my language. But the work environment really didn't. So I was trying to figure out, okay, now what do I do? Right? Now what do I do? My husband said if I read one more book or go back to college one more time, right, that was it. That was a lot of work. And he just couldn't understand how many degrees do you need to keep a job. So I hired a career coach. I was scared, I was bored, I was unhappy, and I hired a career coach. And it was the best experience of my life. So much so that I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do what they did. I wanted to be a career coach. I wanted to help other people. And specifically, I wanted to help veterans, because that's my group. That's the people that I understand, and hopefully that understand me. So I got a part-time job with a company called Career Curve as a career coach, working with executives who were being outplaced from companies as they were downsizing and changing. And you think when we transition, it's tough. It is. But you take an executive that's been with a company for 25 years, that the company has grown and changed so much that on Monday they get handed a packet and say, thank you so much for your 25 years. Out the door you go, and they no longer have a job, and they have to recreate who they are and find a job. That was really challenging, and it was really exciting, and I learned a lot about other people. Mind you, I still had a full-time job. that was a side hustle. I love side hustles. Everybody should start a side hustle before you jump full-time into business. It's a really good book out called Side Hustle, and it walks you through the steps of testing dozens of ideas on what you want to do. So one side hustle wasn't quite enough for me. Right? I was doing coaching part-time, still kind of feeling out what I wanted to do. So a gentleman from the Eastern Shore approached me. He had a program called Project Opportunity. I had met him through some of the outreach events that I had done for my company, working with small businesses. He said, I have this program, it's called Project Opportunity. It's a curriculum-based 10-week boot camp for veterans. He started the program in 2005 on the Eastern Shore from a grant from Walmart. So we worked for the Labor Department and found that there were many veterans on the Eastern Shore that wanted to start their own businesses but didn't know where to start. So he wrote to Walmart, applied for a grant, got a $25,000 grant to start this program. We moved that into the Annapolis area in 2012. So I started teaching a boot camp for entrepreneurs, right? Still working my full-time job. Now I have two side hustles. Project Opportunity. And Project Opportunity is, like I said, it's a 10-week boot camp. It is free of charge for veterans. It meets one night a week for 10 weeks for 3 hours. Curriculum-based, they use the next level curriculum. It brings in experts from every field as guest speakers. So you get lawyers, insurance agents, bankers, the SBDC, SCORE comes in, insurance agents come in, marketing experts come in, and you get access to all of those resources for free. But it's only in Maryland. It started with a grant. We rely on grant funding and companies to give us money. We actually have banks like PNC will support this program. The program actually has expanded this year. So we do 5 classes now a year, somewhere in Maryland, whether it's Baltimore, PG County, Anne Arundel County, Baltimore City, Howard County. We have 3 instructors that are all 1099, that are all small businesses that all do this as part of their business. And this year we received a grant from the Radcliffe Foundation to do a 3-year program to expand the curriculum based to spouses and dependents. So it's the first time we've been able to invite spouses and dependents to take part in it, as well as to do one-on-one coaching. So we get to take everything that we've given you in the classroom and now sit down with you one-on-one. In 2017, December 2017, I was approached by the Global Good Fund. The Global Good Fund is a nonprofit organization that started in 2012 with $500. $500 and a challenge. The $500 was a birthday present to the president, Carrie Rich. The challenge was do the most good you can with this money. She turned $500 into over $1 million in less than 2 months and launched the Global Good Fund. So with the term global, you kind of get the idea. It started with the idea of helping entrepreneurs throughout the world that are taking on social challenges leapfrog their leadership by giving them executive mentors and leadership development coaches. Now notice that the coach keeps coming up, right? This leadership development, business coach, executive mentors, all keep coming up. It's because they're very, very important to your entrepreneurial journey. You will learn so much. So she launched in 2012 with 10 fellows from around the globe. The program has been so successful that in 2017 they were approached by Smithfield Foods. They asked her to start this same program for veterans. They have a lot of initiative for veteran hiring, veteran spouse hiring. They work a lot with Guard and Reserve members in smaller communities for their hiring initiatives, and they wanted to take this capstone program that had had proven success and turn it into something that veterans can utilize. They gave me 3 months to find 10 suitable veterans to start this program. As of this year, 2020, we just finished all of our selection for 2020. We have 10 veterans coming on board. in January. So we've been able to maintain funding for 3 years with this program. And what it does is it provides 5 months of leadership coaching where people build a leadership development plan. So you know those goals that you write before you do your EPR, OER, what you want to accomplish for that year and how you're going to do it? You sit down with a leadership development coach and you make those goals for your business. Where do you want to see your business going? What's lacking in your own leadership style that you want to improve upon? You do a 360 leadership assessment. So it's basically you get to do a self-assessment and then you ask your peers, customers, employees, suppliers to also complete the 360 leadership assessment. And you look at ways where there's incongruencies, right? I think that I really stink over here, but everybody else doesn't see that. Or I think I'm really good and everybody else doesn't agree. So it's a really neat program. It was built just for Global Good Fund and for leadership development, unlike supervisory ones. Coaching, once you're done with your coaching, you get an executive mentor. The executive mentor works with you 1 to 3 times a month for 7 months. Now, one of the things that the executive mentor helps you with is implement your leadership development plan. But as you guys know, they say that like 50% of veterans want to or are interested in being entrepreneurs. And what holds us back? Lack of capital, right? Lack of capital, lack of
knowledge, maybe?
Lack of knowledge, right? Not knowing how the business world works, because we've been in the military, right? Not necessarily knowing how the business world works. And the last one is lack of network. Right? We network with each other. We don't necessarily network with influencers in our community or in our business environment. So the Global Good Fund really solves part of that problem. Your executive mentor has the knowledge and has the network to help introduce you to other people. And then, of course, because that just wasn't enough for me, I went ahead and got a job as a instructor at the local community college in, you guessed it, entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneurship. So I teach entrepreneurship at the local community college as well. If you are unsure, your local community college is a great place to start. They have tons of entrepreneurial programs, everything from introduction to entrepreneurship, introduction to social entrepreneurship, all the way through the new cannabis programs that are available. So that's another great resource for you to start.